Kiara, good morning. Dzień dobry. Hello from Auckland, New Zealand. It's Wellsday again. So this is Miha, and we got Przemek with us
Good
again.
morning.
Good morning for me. It's good afternoon or good night even, because it's 10 p.m. in Auckland. And it's Wellsday, so your favorite day where we talk about well-being and HR. And today we decided to talk about digital well-being. So something that, as I caught my eye recently, and we think about remote working, people working from home, and it was a big thing, I think, around when we all went to COVID and in lockdowns, etc. But now that we've been mostly remote or flexible working, a kind of this discussion, say, faded away. I think it's worth to mention digital well-being, what it is, how we can approach this topic, and what we can do for ourselves and for organizations. So I think it's good to start with either definition or just a little bit of information of what we think when we talk about digital well-being. And my perspective is all about how we approach technology, how we use technology in our daily lives, and not only work is one thing, but how we keep things in balance. And thinking from organizational perspective as well as how we can use technology to say help people, to ensure people have physical and mental health. Well, provide them with a good physical and mental health opportunities, or support them in the physical mental health. So that's the digital wellness, well-being side of things, and not only use technology for productivity, but also to support people's physical mental health. So that would be my definition. What's your take on that, Przemek?
I would fully agree with you, but I would also add emotional well-being. I mean, this can be taken under mental health, our
Yep.
emotions and relations, but the world is changed, and the way we interact with people, or for example, we are dating or meeting new people or setting up the dates, are totally different than 10 or 15 or 20 years ago.
Right.
So I would also take the digital well-being to the area of influence of our relationships and private life as well. Not only health, not only
Hmm.
work efficiency, but also our private area as well, which is very important because it gives us security and all all uh, um, all emotional aspects that are gathered within.
Yeah, well, I think it's super important. And I think they're no more talking about work-life balance in terms of separating work and personal life, because we all say, let's bring our whole selves to the workplace. And we used to have these conversations with people saying, you come to the work, to the office, for example, and you had a bad morning, I don't know, tripped on a dog toy or whatever happened, and your day has already been ruined from the beginning. You can't just say, okay, now I'm in the office, so put a mask on my face and be a different person. You can't separate that fully. But in terms of how we interact with technology in our personal lives, I think, well, it changed significantly. I can't say about dates. I haven't been in a date for like 17 years now,
Mm.
so I'm not sure how the word of dating
Congratulations.
changed.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Don't know how the word of dates changed, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that, well, we know the technology affecting us all and our daily lives, and not only work, but personal. Absolutely.
Yeah. So digital well-being would cover not only our work time, but also our private life, which
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
which is built of our private relationships or family relationship as well. So I would like to stress this out as it's a very important pillar of our everyday well-being.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Okay, so if we are talking about digital well-being, Michal, why is it important for from a personal and organizational point of view to have employees well balanced in
Mhm.
regard to digital well-being?
Well, in terms of, say, this is when we talk about personal versus organizational point of view, and with the no, it's important from personal view because it affects you as a person, your productivity, your effectiveness, but also, I say, your mental health, your mental well-being. Um, and I know that it's all about awareness. I always say with different things, it's all about how aware we are. And if you know how much time you spend during the day scrolling through your Instagram, Facebooks, Twitter/X right now, it can give you, well, it can affect your thinking and say, okay, if it's 6 hours a day I'm spending scrolling things, plus 8 hours a day I'm spending at work just staring at my screen, probably because most of us work in HR, let's say, and that's professional work with computers. That's a lot of time spent during the day just with a computer, with technology. And it can affect well, your physical health as well. Like you can have like dry eyes and uh,
Muscle
you can
tensions,
muscle
muscle
pain, what of
overload,
course,
yeah,
yeah, you do this like you
yeah,
quite often
skeletal
you get like
overload as well, yeah.
yeah, you get like office yoga and stuff like that to help you with say tension in your muscles. So there's a lot of impact on that we not fully realize, I'd say. Because if you just say, yeah, that's I'm stressed at work, but actually there's more to that.
This is
And
a
I
hidden
think
co Sorry, this is a
mhm,
hidden cost of working in the office. This is your, in fact, when you decide to work in the office or to perform an office work, this is a hidden health cost of your choice, which is
mhm,
usually never considered by the employee. So when you go to work and, for example, your workplace is just equipped with the basic stuff, basic chair, basic desk, basic and ergonomics items, or even they are missing, you will pay for it not only with your time that you spent in work, but you will pay for it with your health.
yeah. Well, yeah, the ergonomics super important. When you're thinking of digital, you can think of the screens.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have the proper resolution. Do you have the position it properly? Because I can see still, see, you've talked about, or we talked as a people in general in HR and health and safety, how you set up your working station. But I still
Mm.
see people doing like this, trying to get to their computers or,
Monkey
and this
posture.
is, yeah, you can see this here. Even today, I won't say who from my office I noticed, but they were just standing very close to the monitor, to the
Yeah.
screen. The font was very small. And I said, well, you need to, make that font bigger, change the resolution, things like that. And those are the small things that affects our health from a personal point of view, but also there is a cost for organization if you're thinking about that, because you can have people burned out, you get the productivity decreases as well. If you're thinking, not sure if you've got this ever, I had this like a fan, I think it's called phantom ringing. So you have a phone in your pocket and you think, oh, it's ringing, it's buzzing, it's vibrating, and no, nothing. And
Yeah.
you can have it a couple of times a day. And it can cause, stress. It can cause anxiety. And a lot of people checking, sorry, their emails, 1,000 times a day, while you can just do it 3, 5 times. And it's okay because it causes anxiety as well. Oh, there's a new email, there's a pop-up notification. I need to read it right now. So this is when technology that should serve us, it's actually can, become an issue and
Mm.
or anxiety or being always tensed because
Hmm.
that's the whole thing from a person. And this is I see this as a really intertwined in between the personal and organizational point of view. As whatever you use, how you use technology at work, it will affect you as a person, but also it will impact how you contribute to the organization.
Yeah, well, when I look at this you can see many professional courses or professional videos that recommend you to leave your personal life at home when you're entering your workplace. But in
Yeah.
fact, well, we are on this, I mean, this body, this mind I have, this is what the one organized, right? So it's separating my mind from saying, okay, I left my private life at home and I'm entering my office now. I'm not supposed or I cannot think about something that, for example, is important for me right now privately at the office.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
it's easy to say, but it's not feasible. I mean, you will always be impacted by your private life at your workplace, and this happens every time when you look at your phone and, for example, checking Instagram it,
Yeah.
while performing your job duties,
Yeah.
by checking messages, by chatting, or making a lunch appointment, or making after work meeting with your friends. So th this this approach that of separation, work and private life, it cannot be done, in my opinion. Uh,
Well, there is, I think it was in, where was it? Apple TV, Netflix, or one of the streaming services. There was a series with about the guy. I think it was coming to the office, and they were like switching off his brain,
mm,
and he was whatever he was doing at work, he had no idea. And then when he was leaving the office area, he was back in his life,
mm,
like personal. I think that's the only way you can really separate your personal life and work life.
Therefore, so many people had problem at the beginning of the COVID time to move their workplaces to homes. I mean, they were forced to move their workplaces to
Yeah,
homes,
of
yes,
course.
to change their style of working style to the new one that they were not totally unprepared to do it. Yeah, but suddenly it happened, and many people declared that they have problem of taking too much workload while working from home, because people couldn't say, well, what's the borderline? I mean, what's the a safe border for doing
Yeah.
performing your work and saying stop and starting your private time, yes, so
Yeah.
your own time. Yeah, so that's the problem we are facing. You said, for example, that you've got a phantom ringing. Do you have this phantom ringing syndrome sometimes?
Uh, Not anymore, not as much really. I
So you
used to
used to
have it.
have it. Okay.
I used to have it because, but and this is when it comes all to awareness and how many times a day you check your phone, right? Is it something there? Is it not? Do you have notifications? And the
Mm,
moment I switched off notifications and all the buzzing, etc., it was not as interesting anymore for me. So I don't have the phantom ringing or buzzing or anything like that. Um, I do, of course, check my phone, and this is when you can get some apps that can show you how many times you check your phone, how much time you spend on certain things, and that I did it for a couple of weeks, and yeah, I was quite surprised. I had no idea that I'm spending so much time on certain things. Uh, I thought I'm spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, but apparently I spent some time on LinkedIn, and there was like you have your games, you get some other apps, and you get Instagram and things like that. But when you see the reports of how much time a day it chew your time, I said, well, this is not very effective. I don't like it. So it's not that, ban everything and don't do anything on your phone. Absolutely not. It's just be
so
mindful.
so this brings us to the next question I would like to ask you.
Sure.
How can we improve our digital well-being as individuals? Because we've talked about some syndromes, about some problems. So,
Mhm.
what would you say? What's the way of improvement? Is there any?
Well, I think there's plenty, to be
Mm.
fair. And especially I think that's a good thing that you mentioned working from home, COVID times. And now it's this weird, flexible, remote, hybrid, whatever we call it, type of working. But
Why is
people
it
still
weird? Why is it weird?
Oh, because you have different definitions, and some people say hybrid, some people say remote, some people say flexible. These are all different things, but people put it in one basket.
Okay, so the weird term refers to the definition, not the idea of working, right?
Yeah,
Or oh,
absolutely.
okay, okay.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. There's clarification there. Yeah, so the idea, we work from home. A lot of us working from home a couple of days a week. And the thing is, like when I do work from home, I quite often used to work more than I would do in the office because I don't take breaks, or I haven't in
Mhm.
the past. And now I have like 5 minutes or 15 minutes. I block it in my calendar. So this is one thing that you can do as an individual. Block breaks in your calendar. Don't schedule back-to-back meetings, especially if it's online, because it's just exhausting. Sitting in one place, you can't move, or if you can and the organization is fine with that, go for a walk and have a meeting. And this happened in my previous organization, that some people were just, so where are you? I'm in the park. I just took a walk because I can't sit know, 6, 8 hours a day in one place, just having meeting after meeting after meeting. So just I think what we can do is being smart with your planning, your calendar, your day, making sure that there's no back-to-back meetings. And also, I think, take breaks, schedule those breaks. I think in Poland, that was in law that if you, for every 60 minutes working with computer, you have 5 minutes break from the
That's
computer. I remember,
that's a low rule. You
yeah,
have
yeah, that's what I remember from Poland. I actually liked it, and I said it, I think a week ago. My colleagues and at work, and they were like, "Oh, this is actually nice, and this is in the law, right? So it needs to be obeyed, etc." I say, "Yep, that should be. Not always is, as we know, but it should be.
mm,
It's in law, in the law."
mhm.
Um, Other things that you can do is, like for me, it really works, and I can see a lot of people being, I say, inspired by it, but also effective. Like they found it effective. Get rid of all the notifications, and this is as simple as it is. In Outlook, you got the pop-up message that, oh, you got a new email, or you got this little icon as a mail. Switch it off, get rid of those things, because you will be drawn. It will draw your attention, or draw your attention to those things. So, oh, I got that new email, I need to check it, and we can get easily say sucked into constantly checking our emails, not
Yeah,
giving
but
our brain
yeah,
time.
but this is okay. But how to combine it with the expectations from the work that you need to be up to date every
Hmm.
minute, because you're missing, for example, you got an important email and you don't have the notification. So you are missing something, right? And this maybe you
Oh,
are not, but this is the main problem. The feeling of being afraid of missing something. So like a
mhm.
FOMO, yeah. So this is the
Pop
term
up.
that is FOMO
Yeah,
is the term used in the game industry or
yeah.
sometimes in the investment industry. But you also get FOMO in the workplace as well because you are afraid of missing something, right?
Well, and that because I think it's more from organizational point of view, but also personal. How if you want to effectively manage your time and be effective at what you do, because we know that multitasking doesn't really work because your brain need to switch between tasks and it takes time. Uh, have an organization that supports that, and that's when we're kind of blending individual and organizational point of view right now. But still, if you have organization that have clear, say, digital boundaries and rules around how we communicate with employees, managers, etc. Things like, and this is as simple as what do you use your phone for, your email, your Microsoft Teams, Slack, or whatever it is, like a communicator, and your meetings. And if you have rules saying, if it's urgent, I need something, use Teams, because this is direct message, like you would send a text message, right?
Mm-hmm,
If it can wait, send an email. If it's something that you need to discuss on more people, brainstorm or whatever, have a meeting. As we know
mm-hmm,
that there's a plague with all the emails or meetings that this could be an email, right? So not everything needs to be email, not everything needs to be meeting, and
mm-hmm,
having clear guidelines from organization, it could only help people and not having, let's say, fear of missing out or feeling guilty that I got a message 2 hours ago from my boss, I didn't respond, oh my God. But since my boss didn't message me on Teams, it's not important. It doesn't need to be done now. It's not important, sorry. It's not urgent.
Okay. Yeah, that's clear. That makes sense because, for example, if you know that you've got a certain way of channel of communication that is there like a top urgent, right? So you know that this is like if it's not overused, it makes sense
Of
to me.
course, and that's why as an individual in organization, you can always ask your manager or have a like this best thing to have a conversation of how you want to communicate with your manager, how you want to communicate within the team, and establish those boundaries or those rules, because what organization wants? The effective, productive people and happy.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Most of the organizations want that, right?
Mostly effective and then happy. Yes.
Yeah. So that's only to benefit everyone, really,
Mm.
for everyone.
And do you have any other do you have any other recommendations? What can be done to improve our digital well-being from our individual point of view?
Well, I'd say be aware so download an app, check how much time you spend during the day on different things, scrolling through Instagram or other apps like that. Notifications is one thing. You can set your phone to do not disturb function, so you know it's somewhere there, so it doesn't kind of we don't need to check every 5 minutes if we get a new message or not. I think
regarding this, I bought a new phone and there's a button designed to say it's called VIP mode. It switches off all the sounds and all notifications. I used it only once because I was thinking if somebody will use it or not. What's the idea behind it? Because when you have your smartphone, is you want to be up to date. So and from the individual point of view, this is idea that comes to me. Can you be offline? It's like, am I allowed to be offline? How long time I am allowed to be offline? How much time being offline is safe for me not to be, online excluded, right?
Because there's expectation that you're gonna get the message, that you're gonna respond quickly, right? Because it's really
you are expected to react instantly. There's no such thing. I mean, from my perspective of mine, that you can sometimes if you don't reply within like 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, depends whom you're talking to. Sometimes it's like you didn't respond at all because your response was too late. So for example, so if I switch this button on, this VIP mode, I mean, I don't know. It's like
you feel excluded.
yeah. It's because there are two there can be, in my opinion, there can be two approaches to this. This first one is feeling of the fear of being excluded or missing something. So this is the one thing that we've already covered. And second one, to have a luxury of being offline. Because right now, is it possible, for example, to be offline during the day for more than a couple of hours or couple of minutes, it's like a couple of time, right? Can you be offline, for example, at your work day?
Short answer for me, it's absolutely yes.
Yes. So I mean,
yeah,
so
100%.
How would it work for you? And in your work day, not in the weekend, but in your work day, how would it look?
Well, look, because you start with, let's say, messages, and I got it as more personal things. Quite often in my personal life, I quite often don't answer immediately. Sometimes, and my friends, he knows that, I know that. I respond sometimes after 6 hours, 8 hours, even a day.
Okay.
Because I don't look at my phone very often, but I still respond. But I say it to them as well. I say, hey, just because I don't answer to your message within 5 minutes, it
It
doesn't mean I
doesn't.
ignore it. It
No,
means
that's
that
very.
I'm focused on something else. I'm doing with something that I just need to put my mind into, and I will respond once I'm home or I have time for that. Say put aside. So if it's something super important that you need an answer immediately, just give me a call. If
Mm,
it's something like, hey, how's it going, blah blah blah, it can wait. I'm going to respond eventually, and it will take me up to say 24 hours. I think the worst one was 3 days, but I still responded. Work time. I do blocks in my calendar. So I do take, for example, I need to read some materials, I need to do research, or I just need my thinking time, which is
mm,
quite often. Yeah. I block it in my calendar, and there is a saying that treat the time that you block for yourself like it's a meeting with your CEO. Like
mm.
it's the most important thing during the day that you just can't skip, you can't ignore. You can't say, hey, yeah, we can ignore that. No, this is your time. And to be fair, I quite often switch off my Outlook.
Mhm.
So emails. So I don't be even I I don't have my notifications, but I still get, um I say prompt, but in my head I'm just gonna check. If there's nothing new
Yeah.
there, I'm just gonna check. Nope, no triggers or no temptation to do
Mm,
that. So I switch
mhm.
everything up. I'm focused, and this is my time. And I've never heard anyone in New Zealand, I've heard it in Poland, being
Okay.
either annoyed or I've been told off that, you're not picking your phone,
So this
picking
is
up your.
also based on culture. I mean, the acceptance of this behavior is also depend.
I think
This
so.
depends on the culture, right?
I think so, because I remember when I worked for Carlsberg, and you used to go to Copenhagen for meetings and we had projects, etc. People finish at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., depends on the day. And that's it. You switch off. You can't, you won't call them because nobody will pick up their phone because they have their
Mm-hmm.
private. So it is a
Mm-hmm.
building, I think it's built in within a culture,
Mm-hmm.
either as a country, nation, but also organizations, as we know, and
Level.
even
Yeah.
teams have their own cultures. So yeah, absolutely. It's possible. It
Mm-hmm.
requires those communication boundaries and I'd say managers as well. If you're a manager, want to create specific culture, because culture is by design, not by
Mm.
chance, that you put those rules in place and you walk the talk and
Yeah.
you
So.
show by example. You can't be a manager. I'll just give you a quick example. I talked to my someone who reports to me, and she mentioned recently, said, "Oh, I saw you were working on Sunday." I was like, "Oh, yep, I did a little bit, like 2 hours of work, because I had to, s- um,
Catch up.
I had two, oh, I said 2 hours during the week, the normal week. It's flexible working, so I knew that at these 2 hours I need to do something. I need to run some errands, so I knew that I'm gonna do some stuff in the on Sunday. But I said, I said, oh, you sent me an email. I said that's my mistake. I should have delayed it till Monday. So apologize. Try
Yeah.
not to do it again. And I never ever expect you to answer me. If
Yeah.
I do, I'll give you a call. But this is like a life and death thing. Never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is by a manager sets those rules. So this is where you show by example, saying, I don't expect you to work, I don't expect you to answer. It was my honest mistake. Let's not do
Mm.
that again. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's better not to send emails during the weekend, even if you like to do it.
Mm.
You always need to remember there's somebody on the other side who will
Yeah.
get it. And this is a disturbing and private life. Uh,
Unless, unless
yeah.
you're a master of your digital well-being, and
Mm.
like me, my work phone from Friday 5 p.m. it's in the other room, and
That's
in my bed, and
that's
I have
very good.
no idea what's happening. To be fair.
I have also this rule applied to my private phone as well. But regarding to the nighttime, at 11 p.m., I switch off the Wi-Fi in my apartment.
Fine.
I switch off Wi-Fi and internet connection in my phone, and my phone is totally
Offline.
offline
Yeah.
during the night. Yes, so because I don't want to sleep at the Wi-Fi uh, Wi-Fi area.
Active?
Yes,
Yeah,
active
yeah.
Wi-Fi area. So yeah, and I don't within the Wi-Fi frequency, and I don't want to be disturbed during my sleep time because it's my own time for regeneration for my
Yeah,
body and for my
absolutely.
mind. So yeah, so this is what I can share, like a
Cool.
personal digital well-being approach,
Yeah,
attitude, or trick.
yeah. No, that's awesome. And with the sleep, this is another thing I forgot to mention that, being offline. So there is a rule like 3 hours before sleep, no food, I think 2 hours before sleep, no drinks, and 1 hour before sleep, no screen time, because it does affects our brain. It's a blue light and all the other stuff, which can disturb our sleep patterns. And well, for personal life, not good because you're being grumpy in the morning, you don't have good sleep. From an
Mm-hmm.
organizational point of view, you have people who are being not well rested and come into the office or just doing work. So that's when you can be more smart in the digital well-being area as well.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid phones before you go to sleep or any screens.
So French people, because they love rituals in France, and French people do have the same rule, pas d'écran, so no screen before the night as well. And somebody's wise, they use this rule to protect their well-being, or in French, bien-être, to feel better and to live a better life.
Nice.
That's
Some
very
insights from Europe.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so this brings me to the last question to you. So, what can be done as an organization to improve the digital well-being of our people, of our employees? You've already mentioned the rules. What else can be done? Is there something else that can be mentioned?
Well, I think putting the rules in place and communication, so those phones, emails, Teams, whatever it is, the channels. I think managers needs to be encouraging people to switch off during the weekends, off hours, and leading by example. So if I say we need to switch off, I'm switching off as well. I think it's quite, um, to be honest as a manager, as a leader, and Brené Brown is talking about a lot of vulnerability. It works. It needs to be well balanced as well, but showing and saying to people, you know what, I switch off during the weekend because, depends on your job, but there was a saying in my previous job, we're not saving lives here. We're filling
Mm.
spreadsheets, we're doing stuff, we're not saving lives, which means what happened if on Saturday night you're not gonna give a spreadsheet or send spreadsheet? Well,
Yeah. So,
someone will be annoyed. That's it.
if we have viewers from the hospital industry or health industry,
Yeah.
health-saving industry, life-saving
Yeah.
industry, please, you do save lives. Share your
Yes.
ideas of keeping the digital well-being in your workplace because you've got different point of perspective. Please do.
Yeah, that's a totally different story. And
Yeah,
it would be good to get some insights from people from that area or industry, really, because this is, I think, is way, way different from we
yeah,
can switch off Saturday, Sunday, I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah.
They can't quite
Yeah.
often. So it's a different way. But from organizational point of view, I think, well, training. So providing training from time management, prioritization. We did training and we do in the next group as well next month from PEP. So that's personal efficiency program. It's very intense, it's very good. And if you get more people from organization doing the same program, you start speaking the same language. And
Mm-hmm.
things like blogs, the communication channels, you can all talk about it as a group and then roll it out for your organization, making this as a standard and not an exception. So I think that's important. I think limiting number of we talked about it, limiting number of online meetings and duration. Not sure if this is it's same in Poland and in Thailand that 25 is new 30, 50 is new 60. So instead of
No.
scheduling meeting 30 minutes, you schedule it for 25. So you get this 5 minutes to take a breath or
Mm-hmm.
eat something, go to the toilet, whatever you need, just to have
Mm-hmm.
a bit of a breather. And same with a 60-minute meeting, it's not 60, it's 50. So you get
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes before those longer meetings. And we
Okay.
apply this rule for my previous organization as well.
Okay. And how did it
And
work out?
yeah, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's become like if you get emails from GMs and unit managers for 25 minutes or 50 minutes, you know that there's a rule and they
Mm-hmm.
follow it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
leading by example again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. It's
Mm.
absolutely fine because there's also a thing called the Parkinson law. Not sure if you're aware of this one. The less time you have, the better you um, use it. So
Okay.
things like if you have 50 minutes, you stop talking about the topic around 22 minutes, you
Yeah.
will naturally try to fill to the 30 minutes. You will try to fill the time. So you just keep talking 30 minutes. Okay, done. Thank you. So if you have 25 minutes, you will squeeze and be more effective, productive, and focus on the topic that you need to talk about.
Usually people get accustomed to the new pattern. So after the half year or 1 year, you making 20 is new 25?
I don't, I'm not sure if you can optimize it even more. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see. I think
Okay.
that this is quite a, like, say, new concept within the last, say, year or two
Mm-hmm.
for us in New Zealand. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was through and after COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and one other thing, we talked about the equipment, so organizations need to provide ergonomic equipment, proper screens, and this things, so you probably aware of this eye yoga. So making sure that we acknowledge there is like an eye strain thing. So making sure that people switch off, don't spend too much time on their computers, or just not too many hours in a row. And one thing that I think is pretty cool, not every organization can do it. Again, it's different for the different organizations. It worked really well in my previous organization. No meetings Friday,
Mm,
or
very good.
Friday pre-meeting. So if that's not crucial, absolutely crucial, don't have meetings on Friday, because Friday is a
Mm,
time for you. Catching
mm,
up with your work, you can do some thinking, you can do some planning, etc. So for the last probably a year, even more, I I have a couple of meetings on Friday, and it was
mm,
really ad hoc because we need to discuss something. But this is
mm-hmm.
time for people to connect if they're working from the office, and just for the thinking time, which can also help you with your, say, digital stuff. If you're thinking no more online meetings, I can switch off, I can do some reading, I can do my work. It can help with as well with that.
Mm. From my point of view, what we do, for example, in help desk to help other organizations to maintain uh, life balance, work balance in the workplace, also digital well-being, is to make very short time or express time classes
Mm.
apart from the screen. For example, like breathing class, stretching class, yoga class, and not only yoga, or ice
Hi,
yoga,
Yoga.
but also eye yoga, but also classic yoga to release the tension that is accumulated in the muscles, to release the stress. Stress is accumulated in the muscles as well. So, for example, if you're over tensed, usually also work with your jaw while working. So you
Mhm.
tense your jaw.
Yeah.
This can lead to the head pain or back pain as well, or your neck pain. So all activities that use the physical techniques to remove the discomfort that you acquire through working for the work in the working time. So those don't have to be very long exercises, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to give
Mhm.
your employees a breath. Sometimes,
Yeah.
for example, if your employees are working in the shopping center, make sure that they have got access to the sunlight. Uh,
Simple as that, right?
Pardon?
Simple as that. Like we all need
It's
that,
simple.
but
Of
people
course, the
forget
sun
it.
is the most important regulator regarding the hormones we've got in our body. All life is dependent on the sun. Yes, the life cycle, the cycle of the day and night. We very often speak about the sleep quality, but rarely somebody speaks about the daytime quality of living. So do you have for example, if you've got a winter time or summertime, like in Poland right now, the sun goes up, so the sunrise is very late. Usually people go to the work in the dark, and
Go back
in
from the dark.
December, in January, come back to work to home in the dark. So they don't have any access to the proper access to the sunlight during the day. Even in the even more in the Scandinavian countries as well. So this is a basic rule. Sometimes because which brings me to the conclusion. Sometimes we think really hard what to do more from the perspective of the regulations or processes or management to make our digital well-being better, but we forget about simple things. And like the sun, like the sunlight. My conclusion would be that I really would like to see the status of being offline, not as an exclusive thing, because right now I perceive being offline as a luxury time. Yes, that you don't have to be stimulated with everything, because on everyday basis we are overstimulated with everything, with the step tracker, with the heart tracker, sugar tracker, for example, if somebody's got problem with the sugar in the blood, sleep tracker, a fitness tracker, eat tracker, I mean the fit or diet tracker. You're tracking everything. So it's not only the tracking, your brain needs time to process all this data you gather. So sometimes I really would appreciate that being offline is a common thing, not a special time of the week that or privilege or the luxury status that you can afford only one time a week.
I like that. I wanted to add something, but I think we're gonna live with this conclusion because I think it's really good, and maybe just continue or build on that in the next one, next Wellsday. I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah, so we are also curious about your experiences, guys. So please share your comments and your thoughts below in the comment section under this video. And also, we strongly encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Also, you can write to us, giving us some ideas for the next topics you would like to hear in the next episodes on Wellsdays.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for today.
Thank you
And
for
see
watching.
you next Wednesday.
See you. Bye-bye.